Hey everyone, this is George Couros. Welcome back to another episode of the Innovator's Mindset podcast. What's it called? A podcast? It is a solo episode, and I just wanted to highlight three of the quotes that I shared in my 50th birthday email. It's kind of interesting, this process. When I don't know what to say, I'm looking back and I'm like, why did I say what I did? And I actually put like 50 life lessons, and I just wanted to share, three random ones. And I'll post them down below, 39, 40, and 42, and you can see them actually in the link below. Before or after I share this, my good friend Katie Martin and I are going to kind of go through. We're going to do a little podcast to kind of set the tone for the year, to some things that she's thinking about as people go in. But we're also going to be talking about my new book that's coming out in early 2026 called Forward Together. And I'm really excited about this book. But one of the things that people need to know is every time I've written a book, Katie Martin is someone I truly trust to go through my book, give me some feedback, push me in my thinking, challenge some ideas, help me clarify some things I'm trying to say. And I'm telling you, when you can find somebody in your life that is doing things like Katie will be the first to tell you this. Her and I, sometimes we totally disagree on things, but we both push each other to try to get better. And sometimes we'll get mad at each other because, pushing is tough. We're kind of brother and sister like that. But I just wanted to kind of acknowledge not only Katie, because she is absolutely incredible, just a brilliant thinker, and I'll link her down below so you can make sure you connect with her, because she has so many great ideas in education. But just finding someone in your life that can push you to really elevate your work. Innovator's Mindset, Innovate Out of the Box, What Makes a Great Principal. None of those books would have ever had the success that they had if it wasn't for Katie giving me some feedback, going through stuff. And I trust her so implicitly that she can go through my stuff and she can kind of tweak and change stuff. And I just know she's not going to change my voice, but she's going to actually help elevate it. So just find someone in your life that's like that. So the solo podcast, I want to share a few things before I jump on with Katie. And the first one is this: start the thing and figure out how to do it later. When you overthink, you often underdo. The first thing that I thought about when I shared this is actually the podcast that you're listening to right now. In 2020, before COVID stuff, and I know I've brought this up several times, I actually said, you know what? I'm going to start a podcast. I'm going to start a podcast. I don't know what it's going to be like. And so I remember actually going into a dark room with my iPhone, and I bought like a $10 mic that I could plug in. And I just sat there and I was terrified to do this. And I didn't have any of this equipment. I didn't have any like the sound stuff, these things. I didn't have any of the, like that stuff or anything. And even though no one likes it, but anyways, too often, what I found myself doing, and I see this with people that I mentor, we talk about, or we just think, and then what happens is that we start thinking about what could possibly go wrong. What is the thing that's going to hold me back? And then we slowly talk ourselves out of it. I am very proud of this, and I know people like this that are really great leaders, superintendents, principals, teachers. They just kind of go and figure it out along the way, and then they'll kind of adjust, do that, or they'll get rid of it if it doesn't actually work. But what they don't do is talk themselves out of things. There are some people that I've connected with over the years, and they have really great ideas. They're really brilliant thinkers, but they think so much about stuff that it often holds them back. Even something as little as getting a piano for my kids. I wanted to learn to play the piano. Now, I'm not going to take lessons. I don't have the time right now, but I was going to learn how to play. And I didn't know how to figure it out, but I knew that I wanted to learn alongside, my kids. And I'm thinking there's got to be lessons. There's got to be like apps, whatever. So I just started playing and just started figuring it out. But what I could have done is talk myself out of these things. Now, I'm not going to be brilliant in, playing the piano. I'm not going to play any concerts, but maybe if you want me to, whatever. Just whatever you're thinking about in your life, don't overthink it. Just start doing it. Action is what leads to solutions. It is not just constantly talking about stuff. One of the things that was really troublesome for me in working in school districts was the constant talking about ideas and then coming back to talk about the idea that you actually didn't do. Just move forward. Just start doing the thing, figure it out. That to me is why I shared that. The second one, bad times won't last and neither will good times. Learn from both because it's all temporary. I don't know why I think about this specifically when I'm working out. Right now, I have this massive shoulder injury and it is horrible. And it's making every workout absolutely excruciating. And 2-3 weeks from now, it'll be gone and workouts will be fine. Or it might not be. It might be my leg. It might be something else. What I know is there are times that I feel like I'm just on top of the world. Everything's really going well. And what's kind of interesting is that I know that's temporary. I'm going to feel crappy again. As I've shared before, I have depression, anxiety, things like that too. And even when I feel things are going well, I think what has really helped me is understanding that all of it is temporary. There is a really great video I saw a couple of years ago, and it talked about basically when you're trying to, and I apologize, it's an Olympic athlete, and I can't remember her name, but I don't want to take credit for it. She talked about her coach sharing how when you're pursuing something great, basically you live life in thirds, where things are going really, really well, things are just kind of average, and things are horrible. And you just kind of know that you're going to hit those thirds, makes them much more tolerable, and also helps you to grow through that process. When you are in the really good third, take advantage of it because you know it's not going to last. And when you're in that average third, just keep plugging away. And when you're in that bad third, know eventually that will dissipate. Just whatever you're trying to do, just keep going because it's all temporary. But the process is so crucial to what we're doing. So this can be something that you're pursuing in your career. It could be something that you're doing with exercise. But just understand that all of it is temporary, even the good stuff. And just make the most of it when you can because all of it is a good opportunity for learning. And this actually leads to the last one that I shared. And I really wanted to keep all of these short, especially for these summer months. This one. Changing direction and quitting aren't the same. Sometimes we need to change our path to get where we ultimately want to go. As you're going into this school year and you're going into your job, you might hate it. And I talked about this in Forward Together, that we always talk about, we spend 80% of our time on 20% of our people. And I really push people to say, you need to spend 80% of your time on 80% of your people. The ones that are really trying to gravitate, do really amazing things. But sometimes you are in a space where you are actually the 20%. I'm not saying you're bad. I'm just saying the organization as a whole doesn't want to grow. And maybe it's a reflection of leadership. It's something that was there when you got there. And I remember when I first got on Twitter, social media, and people were saying oh, it's like an echo chamber. This is an echo chamber. And yeah, that was partially true. Everyone was saying, you're awesome, you're awesome, you're awesome. And it's we want to be validated for what we want to do. But a lot of the people that went in those spaces early on, I'm talking 2009, 2010, I truly believe they were the 20% of their organization. They felt that the things that they were trying to do to really push and accelerate their organization, they were getting no echo chamber in their own schools, in their own districts. And I meet people like this all the time where they're trying to elevate their work. And so they wanted to go somewhere to say hey, I am doing good things. I am being in this space. And so one of the things that people said to me, I don't want to leave this job because these kids need me. Kids need you everywhere. There's no school or district where there aren't kids who need you. And so if you continuously show up to a place where you do not feel valued, you do not feel respected, you don't want to be, eventually you're not going to be good for anybody, including the kids that you're really trying to help. And sometimes when people leave en masse, it teaches the organization something. So sometimes you feel if I quit this, I'm a quitter. No, you're just changing direction. You're still pursuing your goals. You're just saying the path that I've been taking is not for me. Even with, I know I always tie this back to exercise because I just feel there's so many parallels between really trying to push yourself with health and wellness and to what we do professionally. I am really trying to up my running to get faster, quicker. I know, and I'm really fighting father time as hard as I can. I'm like, there's a certain speed I can't go because I'm just old. Like I'm 50 years old. I'm not old, but I'm older for sure. I'm not going to run the same way I was running when I was 30. No matter how good a shape I get in, my body is just a little worn down. But just doing the same exercise over and over and over again, it eventually, you just get so used to it that it doesn't actually change you. So what you have to do is kind of sometimes shock your body with something totally new, something that you're not used to. And that's where you start to actually see some gains. And so the goal is still to improve my running, to get better physically, to get better mentally. And so I haven't lost focus on that goal, but I've just said, hey, I'm quitting this thing to do this thing still in pursuit of that goal. So sometimes when you're thinking about quitting, it's not quitting if you still have that same goal in mind. You're just changing your direction, which is, if you were to drive down a road and you're heading to a destination, there's a giant roadblock. And then you say, you know what, there's a roadblock. I'm going back home. You've quit. But if you're like, listen, there's a roadblock, but there's got to be another way to get to this destination. That's not quitting. That's just finding a new path. So I just wanted to share that with you because I know a lot of people that listen to this are really trying to push themselves to a new level. And that's what I'm constantly trying to do. So these are just some lessons from my life. They really helped me. There are things that I just no longer do because they don't serve my ultimate goal. The goal hasn't changed. The path has. And so I just want you to kind of think about that. So the 3 things I share with you: start the thing, figure out how to do it later. When you overthink, you often underdo. Bad times will last and neither will good times. Learn from both because it's all temporary. Changing direction and quitting aren't the same. Sometimes we need to change our path to go where we ultimately want to go. Thanks for listening. I hope there's something here that has helped you. But just being able to talk these things out has really helped me. I'm looking forward to talking with Katie as soon as I get off this to get her feedback on the book. I'm a little terrified, but thanks for learning alongside me. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks for all you do. Take care.